Hello guys, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about one of the best 2019 NHL draftees next season, Peyton Krebs. Now, of course, the title says, will Peyton Krebs become Canada's next best winger? And to me, I think he certainly has that potential. Now, I've known the name Peyton Krebs for a while, admittedly, for the NHL video games, but I get to know a lot more of him because of this past season, because he's on to the next draft, the 2019 NHL draft in Vancouver. And of course, him being projected to be one of the top picks in that draft, I get to know a lot more of him, and you guys get to know a lot more of him too, and he's certainly a very interesting player looking on him. Now, Peyton Krebs, age 17 by now, he's a left-handed left winger, 5'11", 172 pounds, from Alberta, Canada, and that's mostly why I was wearing this jersey. Now, with the Graviteh Ice, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right, in the WHL this season, he played 67 games, had 17 goals, 37 assists for 54 points. And that was on a pretty terrible Graviteh Ice team again. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. But that team was absolutely horrendous, and has been for a while. Peyton Krebs is pretty much their future in this next season. So, they've been a terrible team for a while, and Peyton Krebs was, I don't think he was a leading scorer, but I think he was pretty close to that. He was pretty much their only hope, and for right now, he's their biggest star for sure. And we saw guys rise up in this past 2018 NHL draft because of they were on bad teams. We saw guys like Ty Dellandrea, who was drafted 13th overall. He was on a pretty bad team, but pretty good numbers. Evan Bouchard was on a pretty bad team on paper, but led the London Knights to the playoffs. We've seen that be a factor in stock for a lot of prospects, and that could certainly be in the factor zone for Peyton Krebs too. Now, from the scouting reports that I've read, and the little bit that I've seen from him on the ice, he's a very dynamic skater. He's a good skater. He's a determined guy. He really works hard in the game, and that's important. It's not the best, factor when it comes to prospects, but it is important. You want to see prospects work hard, and he certainly does. Peyton Krebs is a great shooter as well. His wrist shot is absolutely filthy. Most of the goals he scores are because of that absolutely dirty wrist shot, and he's an excellent playmaker too. I mean, he got 37 assists in the WHL this season. He's an amazing passer and definitely a fantastic playmaker. Now, I haven't seen too many complaints on his defense, so I'm going to assume that's okay, but I'll have to be, corrected for that. I am still worried about that. I haven't really seen too much about his defense, so I can't really comment too much on it. From what I read, he's not really a physical guy either, even though he can bring that sometimes. I don't think he really hits that too much. I haven't seen that. I haven't heard about that, so I'm going to assume that he doesn't do that either. Now, from what I've seen, the rankings of the 2019 draft, he's pretty much all over the place. I've seen him as far as 2nd overall on a couple of sites, a couple of videos, but I've seen him as low as 7th or 8th or even in the bottom 10. So he's really all over the place when it comes to prospect rankings, and honestly, he could definitely move in this past year. I mean, a lot of prospects move a lot, so we can see Peyton Krebs do that as well. Will he rise in that draft stock? Will he lower in that draft stock? This is really a pivotal draft for him and where he ranks. It's going to be really pivotal for him to really perform on the Graviteh Ice next season and to really make a name for himself. And again, that 1 year is pivotal. We saw that with guys like Joe Veleno this season, where he didn't have the worst year in the OHL, but he dropped it a little bit in his rankings. He was going into this season, the 2018 NHL draft, like a top 3 pick, and then he drops to 30th overall, which again was surprising. So again, this final year of the draft is very, very pivotal for a lot of guys. For Peyton Krebs, he could definitely decide where he goes. If he goes in the top 10, if he goes in the bottom 10, whatever happens, it's really pivotal for a lot of these guys, and especially for a guy like Peyton Krebs, who really needs to make a name for himself on a pretty lowly team like the Graviteh Ice. Now, to me, I think that he's a top 5 talent going into this next season. I think from what he's shown, to me, he's a top 5 talent. There's a lot of good, solid guys in that top 5. I don't think it's going to be as stacked a draft class as the 2018 one, but I think it'll be a very solid one too. It's not going to be a generational one, quite like the 2018 one is looking like, but I feel like the 2019 one is going to be deep as well. So I feel like Peyton Krebs does have his top 5 talent, but it'll definitely depend on how he performs next season and if he can rise in that draft stock, which will be very important for him as well. But to me, I'd put him at that 4 to 6 range. I don't think he goes quite down to 7 right now, but I don't think he's like a top 3 talent. I don't think he's there yet. He'll have to really prove himself next season with the Graviteh Ice. But for me, I think he's in that 5, around that 5 mark. I think that's good for him. I feel like he can definitely bring that talent level. I feel like he has that talent level in his all-around offensive game, and he can definitely bring that next season as well. But to me, he's just not as good as guys like Jack Hughes, who I've already made a video about, Capo Caco, and Alex Newhook, guys who I probably will be making videos about in the future, but I feel like he's not quite there yet up to those guys to really warrant, you know, a top 5 pick. I think he's around there. He has a talent level, but he definitely needs to prove himself and show the talent the next season with the Kootenay Ice. Again, it's a really pivotal year for him, unlike a lot of other guys around him. I feel like he definitely needs to prove his talent and definitely needs to prove his all-around game. But honestly, overall, it's looking like a pretty fantastic draft for the Canadian hockey team. It's looking fantastic for Canada as a nation going into the 2019 draft. It's looking very deep for them. Of course, America and the USA hockey has Jack Hughes probably going first overall, but the Canada team has a lot of other guys like, again, Alex Newhook. There's some other guys that really are pushing it, and with Canada, their future is looking bright, especially with this 2019 draft. It's looking very deep for them, unlike last season in the 2018 draft where it was kind of disappointing for them. But Peyton Krebs is looking like a dominant winger for years to come. For me, he already has shown that he has NHL talent level. He just needs to work a little bit more on his overall game, and definitely needs to show next season that he can improve and keep going, and I think he'll be around that top 5 pick. He just needs to keep showing that he's at that talent level, and he needs to keep performing. He already has performed a lot with the Kootenay Ice, but if he can perform even better, he'll definitely have that draft stock rise, and he'll definitely keep performing. That'll be great for him going into next season. I'm really excited for what he can bring. I do like the kid. I think I do see a lot of talent in him, and I feel like he's already shown that. I feel like he can definitely provide a lot for an NHL team, a lot of offense especially, and he's looking to be one of the dominant guys going into this next 2019 NHL draft, and for his sake, I really do like the guy, and I hope that he definitely works out for any NHL team that takes him, and of course, him improving next season as well, and him having a solid NHL career. But again, good luck to Peyton Krebs in this next upcoming year in the WHL. Hopefully, he can keep performing and have that draft stock rise. I like the kid, hoping that he improves and, of course, gets drafted by an NHL team pretty high up, as he pretty much already confirmed. But I'm hoping that he has a solid NHL career, because I really do like the guy already. But to me, while Peyton Krebs doesn't have superstar talent, I feel like he can definitely, right now at least, show very good first-line talent. He reminds me of a guy like Kiefer Bellows, who doesn't have a lot of all-around game, but has a lot of offensive game, and he can definitely bring that. I feel like he'll be one of those guys in the next NHL draft that is specializing in offense. He can definitely bring that, and he's bringing it in spades. So that's going to be it for today, guys. If you enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe. Comment below what you think of Peyton Krebs. Where do you think he'll be drafted next season in the 2019 NHL draft? Where do you think he'll go? And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.